today. The rain was able to hold off. A couple guys nicked up. We took Saturday off, gave them the weekend for Easter, and just a couple guys, just maybe a little dehydration. It was a little bit warmer, but it was a physical day. I thought guys got after it. Ended with a little competition, which the defense won, third down competition. So a lot of guys are getting better. A lot of guys are stepping up, and we're excited, sort of. As those competitions head into Thursday, which is our first scrimmage. So we'll make some, on our end, some decisions, move guys around a little bit after Thursday. But right now we have just kind of still working the same guys, a couple guys playing both ways to help us with some depth. But other than that, not a ton of moves. So, but after Thursday, like I said, will be the first scrimmage, and we'll make some moves after that. So I know you guys have questions. I'll see what you have. Yeah, Sam moved the corner in the middle of last year. John Christopher has been out, had off-season groin surgery. Shippen had off-season shoulder surgery, and Broderick Yancey had off-season groin surgery. So we've had some other receivers emerge, but a little bit of depth issues, and we moved Sam back over there. And you talk about a guy that's really starting to grow up and get it in a good way. Like, he's always been really talented, but I think Sam now understands all he's got to do is just do his job and the things that we ask of him in school, off the field, and on the field, and it's all kind of hitting him at the right time, and he's really developing. So I think so we're trying to play him at receiver, but with depth issues, we moved him over to corner. So you can see those guys wearing green jerseys. He and Jihad Thomas both just giving us some depth at corner with the injuries we have at corner.
What have you seen of Kareem Ali so far?
He's getting a lot of reps. He's obviously very talented, very intelligent. It's going really fast for him. We have veteran receivers, big receivers, and so for him, it's a lot at once. We play a multiple defense. He's having to learn it, but he's really talented. I think he'll compete this year to get on the field, and long term will be a big time corner for us.
Sam have a chance to work his way back in at receiver, considering things are wide open there, and he's seen some flashes from him.
Yeah. Sam, he played well as a freshman. His sophomore year, caught that pass to Notre Dame, broke his collarbone, and just hasn't been able to get on track at receiver. But I think he and Coach, he and Frizz have really gelled, and like I said, I think he's really, really grown up and taken some steps forward. So I think Sam has a chance to be a threat for us on offense, which is what we need. We need some guys like that to step up.
You mentioned Ship. This will be year 2 for him as a receiver. Do you feel he has matured the way you would hope?
Yeah, I'm really pleased with Brandon. He's he can't really do anything out there right now during spring football, but he knows what he's doing. He's become a leader in the receiver group. He's always been fast, but he's added the other components to it. He's catching, he can still catch the ball every day, can run routes. He just can't do anything competitive against the defense. But I think so. He's taken some steps, and with Frizz, coming in as a receiver coach, I think they've meshed well together. So I think Shippen has a chance to really help us this year.
I know you put him back deep on kick return unit last year a couple of times. Is that something come fall camp you might entertain again?
No, yeah. We think he has a chance to be a good kickoff returner. He's fearless and he's fast. So just making that transition from defense to offense, didn't want to put too much on his plate early. But heading into his last year, I know he wants to make the most of it. So.
You talked about Tyler wanting to see him better in pass coverage. How's that going so far?
Good. He picked a pass off last Thursday in our little cover 2, which is really when the linebackers have to step up and make plays. And so I've been pleased with Tyler. He's worked really hard and trying to work on the things he's not great at. Trying to make his his weaknesses his strengths. And so far we've seen some good strides with that.
Rough and Ventel Bryant got some pressure for the first team today. You redshirted last year, big wide receiver. What do you like about him?
Well, first of all, he's really competitive. And that's one of the things in the recruiting process. You don't really have a chance to see. You don't know it. You hope, but you don't know. But Ventel's really competitive. He's tough, and he does exactly what you ask. He works extra at it. And even last year, as we redshirted him, I didn't know all these things. But he's really kind of coming into his own. He gets open. He catches the football. He's really quick. He's fast enough to get open deep. And, I think, if you say, hey, who do you want to get in there and run a play on 3rd and 7? He's kind of becoming that guy that we want, as a redshirt freshman, that we want to get in there and focus on. So he's having a great spring so far. He's got to keep it up. As a freshman, it's always hard to keep it up, but if he can keep it up, he'll have a great fall.
You worked McHale and Ruffin with the first team too.
Yeah, so Eric Lofton went down today with a knee. Hopefully, not anything serious, but as a senior, we didn't want to push him to, so I'll have to wait and see what happened with Eric. But McHale's been working at left tackle. Leon Johnson's been down. with an ankle sprain. So Mikhail's been running with the first team really all camp. He's done a nice job. He's got a lot of room to develop. He's got a lot of things he's got to get better at, but he's getting better. And he's going against some pretty good defensive ends, and Praise and Avery Ellis and those guys. So that'll be obviously that'll be important for us. But he's done a nice job. And then Ruff's a big physical kid. He's got a long way to go as well. But we've been trying to push those guys in there and see what they can do.
You've been banged up in the secondary. What's kind of the update on that?
Well, most of them were injury, off-season surgeries. So most of those guys aren't going to practice all spring. They're just kind of doing individual drills, which they're getting better at. Today, I think Archibald Foster dinged his shoulder, so he came out of practice. And one other guy, maybe Jihad Thomas, who's been going both ways, got a little tightness in his back. So those two guys, had to come out. But really, the guys we're practicing are the guys we have, and the rest of the guys, they're going to take till the fall till they can go play.
Speaking of the secondary, Tavon Young made so many big plays for you guys last year. Just talk about what you expect from him for his senior year.
Yeah, and he had knee surgery as well, and but he's doing individual drills, 1-on-1, 7-on-7. And I think I think Tavon really took a huge step last year, and obviously played at a really high level, and we want him to go try to contend to be the best corner in the league. We want him to go try to take the next step, and be a true lockdown, shutdown corner, and he showed it at flashes at times, and other times he didn't. And I think that's the next step for him, because we think he's got tremendous talent. He's really fast, really coachable. He's a leader. So it's just taking that next step to be like the guy, one of the guys in the league, and that's I know that's what's on his mind.
And he earned the number one ultimately. I think by the end of the
Right.
year. So it seems like that is something that he has in him, that desire to be that.
Yeah,
guy.
he's a really tough kid. I mean, and competitive, and so like anything else, when you come in a new coaching staff at first, like the kids are kind of. Like you're like, like who is this guy? Who is this coach? I mean, it takes a little bit of time with their position coach, but once he and Coach Brown, once he and Coach Snow they kind of got on the same page after that first year. He's been great. So he earned the number one by playing at a high level and by being tough. Excuse me, and you see that out there with him right now. So I think he'll take the next step.
You got his knee scoped, right?
I don't know what it was, like something like it wasn't even like he got an injury. It was like something genetic or something. It's not a major knee surgery. Just they had to go in and fix something.
And he's been in pads, or just
Yeah, he's in pads. He's doing 7-on-7, 1-on-1. It's just he's such a competitive kid that if he does anything competitive, he'll go diving in there and tackling people. So we have to keep him out of those things.
That's Ali. Are you looking to get him into first team reps, through the spring and August too?
Yeah, really the way way we look at it is like, hey, what we do now impacts where you end up in August. So right now, I'm sorry guys, I don't know why I'm coughing, but so he's been mixing in with the first team, especially with Tavon being out, and then we'll kind of come out of the spring and set the depth chart, and then bring the new kids in and see where they are in the fall. But especially on defense, we try to play a lot of guys. We play with some sets with multiple corners, with a nickel, with I think we had some times last year we played with 4 corners versus 4 wide. So he'll have a significant role, and what exactly that role is, we'll start now. But just trying to keep his mind, all those fresh, because we have 3 freshmen up to Grove and Logan Marchie as well, and just trying to make sure they understand that all you're trying to do in spring is get yourself ready for fall camp, right? And and so you don't have to get ready for the UCF game right now. Just get ready for fall camp, so they don't put too much pressure on themselves. And so I think I see that with them. I see them, kind of relaxing a little bit and get more comfortable.
Talk about with Jared Folks today. Looks like he saw some first team reps, and then he dove and picked off PJ. Is he someone who's starting to turn the corner?
Yeah. Folks has been, really last year there were times where we thought about, hey, maybe we should, put this kid in and take, burn his redshirt year and get him on the field, because he's really fast and athletic. He's really smart, does what we ask. Really like Jared, and Avery Williams has been out with a little. We have a couple guys that are out with some minor things that should be back next week, and gave Jared a chance to run with the ones. So he's got a lot of reps with the ones, and he's played really well.
Coach, losing Jalen Fitzpatrick, the wide receiver position is a little open. Anybody standing out as a guy that could be a go-to wide receiver for you this year?
I think Ventel is one of the first names really kind of comes to mind. Kirkwood, who didn't practice today, he got banged up. He was playing really well. Roman is taking some steps. So I think those guys, really the whole group's getting a lot better. Now where exactly they'll all fall, I'm not real sure yet. It's kind of these next 7, 8 practices that really determine that. The first week and a half, everyone's excited to be playing football, and after that, they're kind of tired of it, right? I mean, let's be honest. It's sunny out, it's hot out in the mornings, so it's going to be who's tough enough to fight their way through. I know Ventel will, and I'm pretty confident the rest of those guys will as well. But I would say Ventel and Roman and those guys are really taking some steps.
Do you think having that redshirt year might have helped Ventel, get ready, prepared for?
Yeah. I mean, if a kid can in his mind get through that first semester of not playing, of redshirting, I don't think there's anybody that it's not good for. I mean, you look back to PJ. We were trying to redshirt PJ. You know what I mean? Like, it just, for all the things I think he's going to do and how great he's going to play. I mean, it would have been better for him if he could have sat that first. For everybody, it's better, especially for guys that have to get bigger and stronger, right? And that's Ventel. I think he's, he came in, he was skinny, he wasn't real physically developed. And Coach Scott and his staff in the weight room have done a great job. And so now you see a kid like Ventel that's kind of walking around looking like a different guy, and physically. And I think that's really important.
Brennan Thrift looked like he got some first team reps too.
Yeah, we've been, Ionitis and Hershey banged up, so we've been trying to just rotate guys in there. So, to be quite honest, I know this sounds like coach speak, but it's really not. We try not to think of it as like first. I mean, I'll yell 1s and 2s, but like I might say, hey, we might rotate guys. Say, hey, this time go with the 1s, this time go with the 2s, because really, if you go with the 2s and you're going against the second team offensive line, you might look a little better, right? So we want to see everyone versus everybody. Brennan Thrift has really come on. I mean, he's gotten bigger, he's gotten stronger, he's gotten more explosive. He's listening better to the the play calls, knowing what to do. He and Freddie Booth, Michael Dogby inside, those 3 young guys are getting a ton of reps, which is going to be really good in the long run to get those guys developed. But I think Thrift has a lot of promise. He's one of my one of the guys as I watch that I say, hey, this guy's, because he likes football. He's he just kind of he doesn't like to get blocked. He doesn't like the some guys kind of accept that sometimes. Brendan Thrift is a competitive kid, and so I think he'll play a lot for us this year, and he's getting a lot of reps right now.
How's PJ looked, and how about the guys behind him who's kind of competing behind him?
I think PJ's looked, to be honest with you, I think he's looked really, really good. I mean, he's got 2 freshman offensive tackles out there. He hasn't let that bother him. I mean, I know he had a pick today, but in terms of just overall decision making and just operating, he looks. I mean, to me, he's made some real strides. And the other guys are, they're trying to figure out, what they're doing. They're trying to come along. Tim DeGiorgio's gotten a lot of reps. Just trying to, not turn the football over, not fumble the ball. Logan coming in, you can tell he has a lot of talent. Just, he's swimming a little bit. Lenny's getting a lot of reps. He showed some big plays, and he's showed some moments where he's got to make some better decisions. But I think all those quarterbacks, Lockery, he's a big, strong-armed kid. He showed some promise, and then Frank Newtow's been out. He gets 7-on-7 and 1-on-1s, and he's a kid. So I'd say all those guys, they're adapting to, not just drawing off the card in the scout team, but actually running the offense. And we'll know more after Thursday, I think.
Do you have a true second string quarterback, or no?
Nah, we've been rotating those guys.
You talked about players adjusting to the coaches, and it takes some time. How do you think having Chris for a second year as your offensive line coach will help that group?
Yeah, it's unfortunate in this pro. Like if you're the O-line coach and linebacker coach, you got me every day second guessing everything you do, right? So, but Chris is, I think Chris did such a good job last year because, I gotta be honest with you, it's probably not a big story, but in my world, to take a defensive tackle and move him to offensive line in 1 week. And so the kid started at UCF, and a week later he started on the O-line. Number one, it shows you kind of where we are as a program, right? So, and number two, it shows you what a great job I think Chris did last year. And I think now we're seeing all that, the fruits of his labor, and I think he's way more comfortable. He knows what to expect from me. He knows what to expect from Sat. I think the new coaches have really gelled with those guys. I think the offensive staff is really kind of gelled, and I think you can see that with the way the offense is playing at times. But having Chris for a second year, I think the kids know what to expect from him. They know the techniques, and they're getting way, way better. Really, day by day. To have 3 freshmen on the offensive line out there against a defense, we've got Matt Ionitis, who's a pro. You got, you got Praise. There's a lot of really good players on that defensive line, and they're holding their own. So, a lot of credit goes to Chris.
How's Cleve Irvin doing? I know he had the head injury last year and wasn't able to play. Is he starting to show flashes again, or what do you?
No, he's medically just not with us right now. He's not on the field right now. So, so he's not practicing.
Would you hope to have him back for August, or is it kind of?
Oh, I'd hope. I don't want anybody to be injured. Cleve's a great kid, and But I don't know medically. I don't know anything other than that. You know,
Still the same.
I don't. I probably can't say too much about it because I don't. You know, I don't know, and I don't want to speak without knowing exactly where he is with everything. So.
Okay.
Sure.
You guys talked about at times last year you kind of missed having like a guy like Ryan Alden who was kind of like that safety valve, who was always in the right place, settling in the right spot. Do you see any receivers that can kind of like step into that role? I know you talked about Bentel, but anybody who's starting to settle in the right spots in the field that can be like a safety valve for PJ where he doesn't have to force things?
I mean, I don't know. You know, I don't know anybody exactly yet. I mean, the one thing that we had that year is we had Aldi underneath, and you had Robbie outside stretching the field, right? So, you know, last year I think JC's the same kind of player as Aldi, really dependable, but you have to have that stretch, right, to allow the matchups inside, right? So, I think as we develop the outside guys, I think guys like Broderick, Yancey, Sam Benjamin, and John Christopher, I think they will be really dependable guys. And I think he feels more comfortable with the tight ends. The tight ends, have all kind of played better, and they're doing a nice job.
One word about the offensive line. You have always been concerned about the depth. How is that coming along?
Yeah, we got a lot of guys practicing. So I mean, today, a couple guys go down, we're able to still practice. So, and there's some really tough, hard-nosed kids that are down there on the second team that are that know what to do, and they're practicing at a high level. So I think we got a good group, and we'll add a couple more in the fall. So I'm expecting us to make the jump on the offensive line that the defensive line made last year. I'm expecting them to go out there and be one of the better offensive lines in the league, and we're treating them as such.
The kicking game, how much time do you think you guys had to spend?
We practice it every day. I mean, we got to be better in that department. But we've tried to get in the mindset for the specialists of really we're going to evaluate you every day. But it's the scrimmages, it's the big days. Hey, here that matter when there's a little bit of pressure. So Thursday will be a good day for them to show what they can do. But I think we've got three guys that have shown flashes of being able to do it, and we just need someone to emerge and say, hey, this is my job. I'm not just my job, because you can have the job and not be great, but hey, I can be dependable. Every time we get inside the 35, you have points.
Is it still Alex and Austin fending off the rest of the guys, or is it wide open in both spots?
It's wide open. I mean, we at the end of the Tulane game, we put Tyler out there, so because we just weren't making kicks. So shoot, we'll go with whoever wins the job.
Anybody else who has kind of stood out to you other than Austin and Alex?
Not yet. Yeah, I mean, not that anyone hasn't stood out. It's just right now we're still teaching and trying to bring things along. So, all right. Hey, thanks guys. Appreciate it, man.
Thanks.